3.
Hello, my name is Manisha from Aanandaa Permaculture Farm, and I'm here today to share with you the tips and tricks for pruning your grapevine. Now, most of the videos you'll find on YouTube, or at least that's what I found, were from professional vineyards cutting and pruning their vines. But if you're just a simple gardener like me and you have a grapevine in your backyard or in your farm, and you're not really producing wine, but you're just growing the fruit to enjoy it every summer, you may not be doing that professional level of pruning, and you may not have even trellised up your vines the way the vineyard people do. So I'm going to actually try to explain to you how to prune your vines, which are growing in your backyard, in your city garden, or maybe even in a small farm, because that's the way I go about doing it. And I pruned my vines last year for the first time and experienced such a different kind of harvest and productivity that I thought that I must share this with you. Otherwise, it will not be fair. Okay, so before we start actually learning about the vine and pruning it, let me show you some of the tools that I'm going to be using to prune these vines. So here are the tools that I use for pruning, and let me tell you a little bit in detail what is the advantage of each one of them. Right, so for small clippings, this is a perfect pruner. It's like got a very good grip, and that's why I like to use it because it's easy on the hands. It also has a very nice sharp blade which allows you to really grab something quite easily. Believe it or not, I got this as a birthday present from my family, so that's how much they love me. This is another pruner. It's usually better on slightly tougher canes and stems, and it's a bit tougher and harder to operate, but it's useful for something which is slightly thicker and harder. And finally, this is a lopper. It's like a big pruner, and it's great for really big vines, and when you can't reach them personally and you need a little bit of a distance, you can just use this to clip it. I usually call this my lopper, and I use this and I call this Cindy. And if you have not heard Cyndi Lauper's music, then you must listen to it, especially girls just want to have fun. All right, so that's the tools. And of course, if you've trellised up your vines up overhead, which I have, then you will need a step ladder like this to actually reach out to them. Okay, so you'll see here that my grapevine has been planted here at the back, right? And this main stem, which we have taken up over the years with great effort, is called the trunk. And if you come here and you see from the corner, it's branched into two different branches right here with the Y. And those are the two arms of the grapevine. Okay. Now, as we go up ahead, you will find here, you will see some of these branches coming out. These are canes. This is probably from last year. And you will see some knots and junctions which are called spurs. Okay, so that's the terminology that we are going to be using as we go about pruning our grapevine. Okay, now typically what happens if you do not prune your grapevine, you have all the canes which have grown from the previous year, and they'll immediately get a whole lot of leaves, and you'll find that your vine is filled with leaves but not necessarily with fruit. So what we want is actually we want fruit to grow, right? And therefore we must cut back the canes from last year and allow a fresh small cane to grow, which will have a few leaves and a few bunches of grapes. That's really what you're looking for. Now, to do this, we will follow the arm of the grapevine, and we will start looking at all the canes that are growing on it. Now, if the canes are very small and wimpish, you must just cut them away because we don't want them. But anything which is solid and is from last year's growth, you can actually cut it, but you must leave either one or two nodes behind for them to again burst when spring comes and to start producing a fresh cane and leaves and fruit, right? So that's how you go about trimming the entire vine, and you'll produce a lot of canes as a part of the process, which you can use to start new saplings, which we will talk about in another video. Okay, so it's tiring business, not easy to do it, especially as the weather is starting to turn warm and it does get hot these days. But you see, I've brought out so many canes already, and I'm going to try to use some of these to make new grape plants out of these cuttings. So I'll keep you posted on how that experiment goes. But just as a refresher, remember that there is a trunk, there are arms, and then there are big nodes from which new canes erupt. That's called a spur, right? And then canes come out of there. Now, we don't want last year's canes, we want fresh canes to emerge every season, because they are the ones which will have a few leaves and about 2 bunches of grapes. And so we've cut back the canes from the spur and left the spur to sort of sprout again as the weather becomes warmer, and leave about 2 nodes of the cane on the spur. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Take it from me that you will see a huge improvement in the productivity of your grapevines. And now the only thing you need to watch out for is that you get to the grapes before the birds do. So good luck with that, and I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with other people who are growing grapes in their backyards, city homes, or small farms. See you then. Goodbye.